Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to another live coding session about Uno platform. This one should be quite a short one. I'm just trying to see how complex it will be to add some rudimentary keyboard event support to Uno platform on Android, because this is something that we have been requested a lot over time. For both Android and iOS and basically all platforms to have a proper keyboard event support, because that will open up doors for some very cool scenarios, like some business applications supporting some actual productivity applications that rely on proper keyboard support and proper keyboard shortcut support. So once we have this, we'll be able to implement keyboard accelerators and all the stuff around it, which will make Uno platform apps much more user-friendly for power users, especially. So that's something I would really love to do in this session, to just get it started, not really implement the whole thing, definitely, but just to get started and get something prepared. Just one thing before I start is that I want to make sure that Android is actually building correctly. So I'm just seeing here some errors, but that should be fine. I will just rebuild the whole solution while we're talking. And before we start, actually, just noticed one interesting issue here, that we don't really have support for, our solution templates don't show support for Linux, which is incorrect. So that will be a quite fast PR that we can start by doing. So let's open the solution here, and we'll search for the individual templates, and we'll make sure that they report as supporting Linux. So that's why we're waiting for the build to actually run. So this is so far running well, so that's fine. And I will search here for Uno platform app. Uno platform app. So what I'm trying to do here is to make sure that when you filter for Linux here, you will get Uno platform as an option, because currently you don't get it. And that's unfortunate, because we do support Uno Linux in several ways, via the frame buffer and also via GTK. So there are actually two options how we support Linux, and it just doesn't show up here currently. So that's something that should be there. So I will just search for all these templates and adjust them so that they report as support Linux. So that's gonna be quite easy. The VS template are the templates themselves, and here we have a platform tag, and we currently don't have Linux there. So I will just add Linux as a platform tag, and the same thing here. So we have Uno platform app Xamarin.NET 6. Okay, so this is all right. Let's add it here to all the templates. So Uno platform app. We edited this one, this one, this one. So those are the three. And then we also want this for the Uno platform library. So we search for that one. So this goes here. Interesting. Yeah, this one reports as supporting cloud as well. Oh, really? Cloud. And we don't have cloud in this option, but it's probably fine. But the platform tag of cloud is not showing up here. I would actually think that we should have also Azure there, because we, as Uno platform applications can be deployed to Azure quite easily, and they are, you know, very well supported there. So I will also add the cloud tag there. So Uno platform app. So this one should have a, okay, so Uno platform app. Here we have cloud. Okay. Oh no. So the cloud tag should go in here where it's missing. And also in here where it's, oh, what is this? Where it's missing, okay. So we have all these changes. So we added Cloud Linux into this cross-target library. Here we added Linux, here we added Cloud and Linux, here we added Linux, because there was Cloud already, I think. And this one, so solution netcore. This one, so there is Cloud or not? Yeah, there is already Cloud in there. But this is a different file. This one. Oh, there is Cloud. I didn't save it. Okay, so this is fine, this is fine. All right, so this is done. I'll just create a branch for this. So so it's gonna be and push it. Let me create a pull request for it quickly. So in the meantime, I hope the Android build is going well. No errors so far, this is fine. And we'll be looking into the keyboarding right after that. So I will actually just open another instance of pull request here. Once the PR is pushed, well, the branch is pushed now, so we should have it here. And let's go. So it's actually a feature. Add Jerome for review, and this is done. Well, there's no issue for it. No breaking changes. And create. All right, so that was a very quick PR. But let's now focus on the main thing here, which is keyboarding. And I will actually go to Andres, who made a PR to add support for keyboarding on macOS Catalyst. And we will use that kind of as a kind of template to what we will need to do to properly support it on Android as well. So we'll just see what was required here to make it happen. So first up, these are just some updates of the plist. This, and here we have the window iOS, where we are handling the keyboard presses And for those keyboard presses, we are translating the key code to some virtual key instance, which is the enum from UWP. And we then push it into the core window for key event arcs. So this goes there, and you get and then it's raising also the key down event here. So that's just for the key down event, which is something we can start with as well, just doing the key down event for core window itself. So this is something we'll definitely need, which is like translating the the key code from iOS to virtual key. We will need something similar for Android. And then we have core window, which implements iCore window events, which we will have to implement in a core window for Android. And finally, we'll have to add these events to actually support those events on core window. So let's see. We have just as a template, I'll create a UWP UNO platform application here. Oh, let's do just blank UWP app, and I will throw it into throwaway, just so we can see how it works with key handling and so forth. And the application for Android is built, so I will just close this quickly and disable Roslyn generators so we have better IntelliSense performance. Alright, so let's false this down and reopen. Just in the meantime, I'll pair my Bluetooth keyboard with my phone so that we can actually test this thing on a real device. So, cannot see. Okay, my screen is up. It's good. So come on. Can you please find it? Or it is in pairing mode, so it should be working, at least technically. So I turn Bluetooth on again. So while we're here, let's look into this thing. So we can do some of the simple changes. So if I go to core window generated file, this one, I can get the events that we need. So key down event and key up events. So I will just mark this as false. The same thing for the key up event. And I will go to the implementation file, which is this one. And I will take the same definition for the key events from iOS and put it into core window. Oh, there's no core window Android, so I will create it. Core window Android. And I'm not sure about the casing. What are we using here? Yeah, I think uppercase. Core window Android. Okay, the keyboard is pairing. It's interesting. The keyboard has tried to pair, but it didn't succeed. So let's try again. Full restart. Bluetooth is running, pairing mode. So let's copy this whole thing for now. Technically, when we're done with this, we can just adjust a little bit to move those things which are supported on multiple platforms to a shared file instead of just having the copy paste of the same thing everywhere. All right, the core window events. This interface, iCore window events. Yeah, so this one will be available on Android as well. So let's just make it simple. And this definitely shouldn't be public, so it's something we should add to breaking changes rollup. All right, that's done. Let's go back here. So I just renamed the interface. Rename the file so it's available on both Android and iOS, and I will do if Android or iOS, so that we have it on both the systems. And if and now we should be able to derive from this here, except for the case where it doesn't work. I think this is just about IntelliSense not being happy. So yeah, it adjusted something in the CS approach. I will undo those changes. Hopefully now I will be able to get IntelliSense working. Oh, it's actually already recognized. All right, so this is just a very simple implementation of the iCore window events interface. Okay, and I will just get rid of all the... Oh, what did I do now? It's just a suggestion. Remove unnecessary usings. So we have core window keyboard events. And next up, I will need some translation for the visual key. So virtual keys. So virtual key helper iOS. I will need to create something like that for Android. So again, just having the same declaration. Get rid of this and this and this and this. And the same method name. And technically, the interesting thing will be to see, well, I'm not sure really what's the enum name for Android here, so I will have to find that out. So I know that I've implemented some partial keyboard support for focus management. So I think there's something like experimental keyboard focus. This property, and the place where it's used is where we implement the keyboard support basically. So in this place we have, so this is partially the keyboard handling, and you can see there is key code. So that's what Android is using for keyboard, keyboard input code. So key code, key. Let's now switch and implement some mappings. Oh, we don't have the using. So now it should generate some switch for us. Add missing cases. There's gonna be a lot of them. Okay, I'm pairing my keyboard again. Hopefully this time it's gonna work. So, where are we? Pairing. Okay, so 5, 5, 6, enter, and we have paired the keyboard. Okay, so now we should be able to navigate. Yes, that's nice. Okay, so keyboard is paired, so that's gonna be useful for later, but this is still generating cases. That seems to be excessive. And it cannot be cancelled even. I don't like that this happens. Let's try again, maybe this time. Maybe this time they will. So let's do this like this, and let's see if we just will be able to figure out the rest missing cases. It's really weird that it's taking so long. It's just an enum, so I'm really surprised. I don't really want to write all those cases manually. Okay, but it doesn't seem that I will be able to do it otherwise. I'll just try one little thing here and try to generate the same thing outside of Uno Solution, because I know that IntelliSense is really unfriendly in multi-targeted solutions. So I will try just to do simply here. Where's Android? Everything is very slow. Come on. Okay, so creating a simple solution. It's offering me to create the cases, but it's not really doing it. So weird. Let's see. I will just do the completely the same thing here in Android. I will create. Oh no, like this. let's see. Also very slow, and doesn't really seem that it will do anything. Okay, so I will just start with some simple ones, which is like enter, virtual key, enter, and key code tab, virtual key tab, key code. Or actually, we could try to do something like this. And try to copy it from iOS, because the naming's gonna be very similar, I guess. So no, it doesn't seem like Visual Studio is able to generate cases for this simple enum for some reason. So I'll just replace this with key code. And let's see how different is this. So 0, so keyboard 0, numpad 0. So there is number 0 and numpad 0, so I'll copy this twice. So num 0 is gonna be number 0. So all these will be num mapping to number, and this will be numpad. Number pad. Yes, number pad, and these will map to numpad. It's just taking a little bit of time for it to understand what I'm trying to do here. Keyboard, all these will go just like this. Okay, so it's without uppercase. There is period. Okay, so this decimal. Oh, this seems to be wrong mapping. So there is no equals sign. Huh, interesting. Equality is not there. Huh. Yeah. So there is a value, but it's not it's not defined in the enum for some reason. Well, okay, but it should be added, so we'll just keep it here. So we don't forget it. So this is divide. Tract. Yes, so these are just these. Okay, so we already handled these. We can handle this. add, we have this, subtract, we have this, enter, enter. There is only one enter in Windows, so we will map both enters to enter. Clear space, tab, delete, so delete will be delete forward delete, and this will be backspace. Delete. Back. Erase. Huh, interesting. So what is the equivalent? Oh, it did generate in the end. It took it a long time, but it did generate. So we can use this later, but for now we will continue with what we have here, because we already are quite far. Escape. So meta. Oh, maybe we can just skip this for now and ignore. Oh, these are gonna be easy. Insert, home, and left. Not sure what are the up and down and left. So we just let's just keep these out for now. We'll implement the rest later. So do we have a... Is this end? There is no end. Huh. Interesting. Also something we need to fill out later. But we have some simple mapping for some basic keyboard buttons. So let's see if we can easily test this somehow. So the virtual key helper is here, and in the application activity, in the dispatch key event, we will try to somehow handle it. So what Andreas has done here is that he implemented this in the window iOS, where we also have the keyboard events. Let's see, window iOS. It should be this one. Experimental keyboard focus, yes. So it's been put here before the focus event handling. So I will do the same thing and go here. And now we will take the key event and take the key code from the event, convert it to virtual key, and now trigger the keyboard event. So we'll add the missing usings. The scan code, I'm not sure why it's using the native scan code, but okay, that doesn't really bother me right now. So key code. Okay. Like this. This one we don't have the core window here, so we can probably just get the current core window. It's just a simple implementation because core window, for example, is not available on WinUI version of Uno platform, so we'll have to adjust for that as well. But for now, let's do it like this. If it is a high core window events, owner events. So if we have the owner events, we will raise key down, and we also raise the key routed event arcs for the currently focused element. So we create those event arcs and we raise it for the focused element if it is a framework element which can actually do such a thing. So this should be a Windows UI XAML application. So we raise the unhandled exception here, and we should be golden. So exception. All right. So this is very rudimentary, but it might actually be enough for some simple scenarios. So we can just try it and we'll see. I'll put a breakpoint in here, or in here. Let's do it from the start, and I will run the application on the Surface Duo. In the meantime, let's look at our PRs. Roll up, round up, or roll up? What's the difference? Huh. Should be round up, right? A round up, no roll up. Oh, I'm looking pull requests. Roll up. Round up. Okay, so this is building. So far, so good. All right, so let's continue here. I want to just check a few things. So this one, nothing interesting. Last time I was doing live coding, we were finishing the appointment store API. So we'll just check if that one got merged or not yet. Oh, it's not yet merged. Why is it not? Come on. Oh, snapshot tests are failing. This is probably something not actually problematic. Let's try, and probably it's gonna pass next attempt. So what's next? This one should be merged today, hopefully. I have some things that are in progress for a long time. I need to finish those real soon, but for now, at least some things that will be merged. So this one should be part of the code base soon. And we'll probably need also docs for the appointment store. So I will make an issue for that. Oh, not issue, but request. So I'm just preparing this before the next Oktoberfest, because if no one finishes this, then this could be a very nice Oktoberfest issue. And I think there was another API. We have appointment store, but there was also contact store. It was merged recently and we don't have documentation for that. Let's see. I think there was something that I was closing quite recently, and I don't really see it. Oh, maybe phone calls. Ah, phone call history, that's the one. Okay, so this one also does not have any documentation, if I'm not wrong. No. So that's something we need to fix. So add documentation for difficulties. Starter, and it's specifically Android. Where do we have Android here? And it's gonna be a good Oktoberfest issue, and also good first issue. Right. Phone call history. So that's this one. And how are we standing here? It's still building. It's taking quite a while to build. Even though I just built it from the ground up, so I'm not sure why it's rebuilding everything completely, but whatever. We can wait for that, I guess. Oh, if it's not frozen, that would be worse. Very interesting. What is the backslash? What is the mapping of the delete button, like backwards delete button? This is weird. This really feels like it's frozen. I'll give it just a few more minutes and then I will just kill Visual Studio and restart. Oh, while we're at it, we can do one more thing, because last time I was doing the live coding, we adjusted one of the PRs that was there for a longer time, which is the wrapping of samples in a frame. But it turns out that one of those important ones are broken. So we'll just adjust it quickly. It's gonna be a just simple change here. So samples frame wrap. This one. So the one sample that really doesn't need to be wrapped in a frame is the unit test sample. And that's the one that's also failing. So I will go here. Okay, this is frozen completely. Let's kill it. Okay, so one more build for us. Alright, this one. And here tests. It was here. The border anti-alias runtime test, but it's a runtime test, so we need to avoid wrapping the unit test control as a sample into a frame. So what I'm gonna do here is to search for that specific sample and just disable it from in the same way we did here. So uses frame false. Just need to remember what's the name of the category for samples for runtime tests. So this is starting up. I don't still see the Android device yet. Hopefully in a few moments. for it. What's the name of the sample page for runtime tests? Unit tests. Unit test runner is the name. But it's in the different folder. Let's see here. Should definitely be here. Okay, so, and it's not there. Ah, here we go. So this one uses frame false, and that should be all we need. Let's see. Uses frame. Yeah. That should be it. So let's push this change. Push. And that should be it. And next up, I will what is this? I don't get my Android emulators or anything. That's annoying. Let's restart Visual Studio one more time. Unfortunately, the stability of Visual Studio recently is going really downhill. I hope they really focus for some sprints on fixing and stabilizing everything, because it's like the new features are great, but how useful are new features if the core functionality is not working well? Again, I didn't get any emulators. So weird. No, nothing. See if I do build, if it reappears. Only thing I can think of right now that could help quickly is to delete the VS folder to restart everything for Visual Studio itself. Maybe it's gonna help. Oh, hello, MCNets. There is you have the question if you can compile Uno repo using the new release of VS 17.4, and it is working. It is working, even though, as you can see, there are some weird issues in some cases. Like, I was able to compile the whole Uno UI for Skia without issues and WebAssembly without issues, but you can see that Android right now is really bugging me, and also iOS was working for me, even though I had some problems with provisioning profiles on macOS, but that was macOS related, not really Visual Studio related. So I think for general purposes it should be working. And if you have some issues with Uno Platform 4.6, then definitely please report an issue, because yeah, it's a new stable release, so it should work. let's see. Yeah, Skia should be working quite fine. And actually, I think that Microsoft has fixed the issues with Skia debugging, which were there recently. So hopefully, this will also work better now than before. So why are we not getting any debug targets here? So weird. Okay, let's wait for another build. So in terms of keyboard support, we currently have, well, not complete, but quite good keyboard support on Skia and WebAssembly. We have partial support on macOS, and we have no support on iOS and on Android. We have support for Mac Catalyst, but that one is specifically for some basic keyboard handling. But we don't support focus handling right now, so that's something we need to adjust as well. So yeah, lots of things regarding keyboard events to do here. My goal is at least to have some rudimentary support for Android and iOS for the next major release of Uno. So that's why I'm getting back to this issue right now. So hopefully we'll make it. I'm not sure when the major release will be, but it would really be nice to have it in there so that we can implement things like keyboard shortcuts, which is my kind of goal overall. All right, Visual Studio is really not cooperating with me. Maybe finally some builds started. Yes. So we're building for Mono Android 13, but there is no target still. We'll see. If it builds, maybe it's gonna show up then. So I have started this PR today for fixing the case where you set the image source to null and it's not refreshing the image. It stays there even though the source is null. But it seems that the PR is failing on some targets. Well, the runtime test is failing on some targets, so I have to look into that. So while we're waiting for this, we can try out this for a change. So I will open this in WebAssembly and we'll see what we can do. No. Standard. And let's see. WebAssembly. the issue on WebAssembly was that it was not able to properly load the sample page. And I think that's because the namespace is not correct or something like that. So most likely it's gonna be a quick fix. So it fails loading, waiting for an element, which is most likely caused by the fact that I've used the wrong namespace for that. Oh, for that sample page. So in controls, image tests, nullify. So the namespace is UI tests, Windows, UI sample controls, image tests. Oh. I did not want that. And let's find the UI test. Image source nullify. Where is the UI tests? It should be in UI tests, Windows UI XML controls, image tests, image here. It's correctly written, right? I'm not sure why Visual Studio wasn't able to find it. So let's take the namespace and put it here. What? That's different. Come on. Super slow right now. The Android test is really... What happened here? Wow. Everything is broken. Everything is broken. Okay. Don't make me write it manually. Alright. Now we are in the right place. The name is correct. So this should fix the UI test on WebAssembly. So this should fix WebAssembly, but I think also Android and iOS were failing, so I will need to fix those. And we failed here for some reason again. But we now see at least the Surface Duo as a target, so that's some progress. It's just showing us building, but it's not showing us building here, and it's like doesn't make any sense what's happening here. There is no build running, and Visual Studio thinks it's running. So again, we broken Visual Studio completely. So you can see how easy it is to break it. Well, what can you do, right? And task. And try again. So I would love to fix the Android runtime test, but we would have to build Android, which is apparently right now very, very hard to do. I can try the .NET 6 compilation, but I doubt my workloads are in order. Okay, so now we at least see Surface Duo as the target, which is very far from where we got before. Nope. It will not let me click the green arrow for debugging. Nope. Amazing. Okay, last attempt. It's a very, very desperate one. I will open this in the preview. But I'm guessing that I've broken something in the build process, so I will have to restart the whole machine, most likely. So, in the preview, we don't get any device as a target here, which is not surprising. Yeah, it's complaining about Java SDK. I think that we have to fix it here. In Android settings. Somewhere here. And no. This is SDKs? No. Where was it? So it must be somewhere here. Or here? Okay. Program files, Microsoft JDK. Let's try this one. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. This seems to be building, so let's try the desperate attempt to build the whole application in this instance of Visual Studio. And if it fails, then I will probably have to delay the testing of the current state of the keyboard down event to some next session, because I will have to restart the PC and everything. So let's do some PR reviews. No, this is an odd one. It's disabling a lot of things or removing a lot of things. And if things like that are not really used. The question is why. For example, this one, like, yeah, it should be used. So why is it not used? The proper fix would be not to disable it like this, but actually fix it. But that would be for a bigger PR, for sure. So still building. So Jerome here. Oh no. What's wrong here? In mix sense. Huh? Whoa. There's a lot of errors. And weird ones as well. So, it cannot find Uno Recycler view. And it cannot find this. Don't understand what's happening here. Native list view base? We haven't changed anything around it. And specifically for this one, we are getting this weird error around key presses. Why? No idea what's happening. Why? What's going on here? It's so weird. This is great why this is there, but why it's failing suddenly without any reason. So weird. Okay, so I have no idea why this is happening. Okay, one last try in the stable version of Visual Studio, and I will have to give up and restart. It seems we will not even get the emulator and devices here again. That is so sad, because this should be working just like that without any weirdnesses around it. I'm not sure why it's so broken. Maybe it's just that the mono based mobile targets are not really supported anymore and are just being broken more and more in favor of .NET 6 and .NET 7 mobile, but it's really sad. No, I'm not getting anything. Oh well. It's just so sad. Okay, we can experiment and try to do Android 7 version. This should be Android 7. But it's super unlikely that's gonna work. It's gonna break on the first workload issue probably or something like that. So where is it? Where is it? At core mobile only. Yes, that should be the one. Oh well. Visual Studio is the biggest roadblock in developing UNO platform overall. It's just so many problems are caused by Visual Studio itself that it makes it super hard to implement new things. So of course we are getting right away an error. Didn't want that. What's gonna happen here? So it failed to restore. Whoa. I used .NET 7, right? Oh, what? What is this? Oh, not 2, I'm in UNO 3. Correct. Ah, it's completely wrong instance of Visual Studio. What am I doing? This should be UNO 3. Targeting .NET 7 Android. And for launch it. So in the meantime, let's fix that target props file. So this should be .NET 7 Android, .NET 7 Mac Catalyst, .NET 7 Mac OS. So what do we have here? Loads of errors. Yes. But we have Surface Duo as a target, so let's just try to launch it. And we have lots of errors, lots of errors, lots of errors. Not sure why it's complaining about macOS. We'll not get too far with this. I'm afraid it's gonna fail quite soon. Oh well. Okay. At least we fixed some smaller things. So it wasn't all doom and gloom, but really it should be much more successful. At least launching an application shouldn't take this much effort. Oh god. Is it already failing everywhere? So we are definitely not there yet in terms of .NET Mobile workloads working reliably. Like still building mobile apps using the Xamarin Mono is usually more stable. And unfortunately, right now I just am not able to build the Android application using any approach without restarting my PC. So this is probably all we are able to do today. We can try using Mono Android 12. That would be interesting. Just as a last resort, because we were trying to build for 13. So maybe somehow it could help. But I'm really skeptical. I'll just put this here, so just for rudimentary support, but I will push it so I don't forget that I already started this. So I will probably not get this working here. This will be just a draft PR, so. Right, so I just made a draft PR so I don't forget about this branch, but so far it seems that I will not be able to build it today. So I guess we'll have to leave proper testing for the next session, because I'm already running a little bit late over what I was planning to. But thank you for joining. I hope the next session will be more successful in terms of actually seeing what we created, and we will continue with supporting key down and key up, and hopefully we will get something actually working, which will also include the focus navigation on Android. So I would like to get it working with doing tap and shift tap to navigate between elements, focusing, and being able to press specific keys that are handled by, for example, buttons to press the button, or checkboxes to check or uncheck, and so on. So that's the goal, hopefully next time. So have a great day, and thank you for joining, and see you next time.